With Aston Martin finishing on the podium in Bahrain, many feel that they are now one of the top 3 teams in F1. This is a huge change in form, as they finished 7th in the championship last year. There have been murmurs that Aston Martin's hiring of personnel who were previously working at teams like Red Bull has played a big part in this. Red Bull's top brass have now taken a few digs at the situation. I'm your host, Dillon Shelley, and first up on Formula World, Red Bull's dig at 2023 Aston Martin being an imitation of Red Bull's car. Red Bull team principal Christian Horner, while speaking to Sky F1, started off by praising Aston Martin. The Aston looks a good car. Based on one race, you'd have to say they were the second strongest here. They've obviously done a good job over the winter. He then took a subtle dig at the supposed source of inspiration behind the 2023 Aston Martin. They say imitation is the biggest form of flattery, and, it's good to see the old car doing so well. Team advisor Helmut Marko was a bit more open with his words, as quoted by the Mirror. It's true that what Dan Fallows had in his head cannot be erased. He summed up his views with a few strong statements. Copying the Focus is not prohibited, but can you copy in such detail without having documentation of our car? We had 3 Red Bulls on the podium, only the last one with a different engine. Fast feed. Haas driver Nico Hülkenberg revealed that in Bahrain he was just going through his tyres like a hot knife through butter. I was very relieved when we pitted for the new front wing and the car suddenly came back to being normal. But by then I had lost so much ground already that it's tough to recover. Christian Horner feels that it was a phenomenal performance by the whole team and, back at base, to provide a competitive car like we've got to start. We focused probably a little more on the race than we did on quali, and that paid its dividends. McLaren's Oscar Piastri stated, just being in a racing environment, with the dirty air again and all that stuff. It's been a while since I've had to experience that. It's a shame we retired in Bahrain. Williams driver Alex Albon suggested that everyone looks at the Aston Martin, but we've made unbelievable progress as well. It's harder to see because we aren't on the podium, but we've made good steps. Defending world champion Max Verstappen pointed out that Jeddah is a completely different track with different conditions. There's a lot of long straights and fast corners, so it will give us a completely different picture of where everyone is on the grid. For Aston Martin's Fernando Alonso, this weekend feels like a dream, but we must stay realistic because this is just one track and the first race. Jeddah is a very different kind of circuit and a very different challenge. I cannot wait to get back in the car. And AlphaTauri's Nick De Vries is looking ahead to Saudi, which is a bit quicker, meaning the midfield will look different again. Do you think the 2023 Aston Martin is an imitation of the 2022 Red Bull car? Head over to my community page to vote in the poll and let me know what you think in the comments. And if you liked this video, feel free to subscribe and check out my others for all the latest in the world of Formula 1.